There we are. It is 11 o'clock, and it is time for us to go live with this episode of LSOP Live. And this is an episode called Spooky Science. And we got together and just brainstormed what would look spooky but was based in science. And the main theme that we came up with is we're going to look at things that you can't see that we can make visible. So we're seeing the unseen. And we're going to start with the one of the favorite things we've ever done. I want to say, too, this episode, we're doing it live. There's a whole lot of tech going on behind the scenes. There's a lot of moving parts and a lot of moving people. And there's a whole bunch of us in a tiny studio. So be patient with us. And if you're patient with us, there's going to be some good payoff. Starting with our first demonstration, I am going to ask to make it a little bit spookier in here. This is not spooky. This is well lit. Oh, that's looking more spooky. That's looking a bit more spooky. And I'm going to step out of the way here.
And then I'm going to turn on a light.
And turn on a little bit of a light.
Oh, thank you, Cecilia. It was a little bit too spooky for me.
Awesome. Oh, come on, Casey. You're from Texas. You can take any degree of spookiness. We know that. And let's go ahead and get this zoomed in and focused. And there's Casey and Cecilia on their traditional side of the table. Good to see you, too.
Hello, hello.
Pretty good.
Cecilia, good high five to get this day started. Bam.
Uh-oh. What?
That didn't work.
Let's do that again. Let's do another high five. Here it goes.
1, 2, 3. No, that did not work.
That did not miss. Your hands went right. One of you is a ghost. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. I think, Cecilia, or Casey, if you try to give Cecilia a hug, how does that work?
She's just
not
there. Cecilia!
I'm trying. I don't know what's going on, Casey.
This is awesome.
Ryan?
Well, I think what we need to do a little bit of investigation here. How about if we turn the lights on?
Oh.
And now we can see what's going on here. There's Cecilia. And there's a little plexiglass screen, and you might remember that plexiglass screen from the last episode. That's what we did with our COVID protection. We brought it into the studio, and you get a wonderful reflection. Actually, you can see a little bit of reflection of me in there. So Casey, we're seeing through the screen. Cecilia, we're seeing a reflection in the screen, and Cecilia is brightly lit up.
Yeah.
And the light is a lot dimmer when at Casey's distance. So if we dim the lights in the room, what you see is a reflection of Cecilia and an actual image of Casey. And they look like they're in the same place and about the same brightness. And to make this work, you definitely have to have a really, really dark space in order to make this go. And you need a pretty reflective piece of plexiglass so that you get that awesome reflection. And this is a thing called a Pepper's Ghost. And this is a classic magic thing. You two, what are you up to? I tell you. So if you've got a spare piece of plexiglass screen hanging around from your COVID protection, I'm going to say, for your Halloween haunted house, rig up a Pepper's Ghost. And let's look at this one more time. Let's bring the lights up. And there's our screen. And there's Cecilia with the lights. And there's the empty chair next to Casey. And we just arranged it so that the reflection of Cecilia was in the chair next to Casey. That was perfect.
Spooky
That was perfect.
Indeed.
Spooky indeed.
Very spooky.
And now we got to move some things around. So we're going to get that screen out of there. We're going to bring Ty on. And so a little bit of tech motion. So we'll ask your patience. And while we're doing that, Casey is getting a little something ready. Oh, and there's the hallway with all the Little Shop of Physics t-shirts on the wall.
Behind the scenes.
There we go. And heard a crash in the hall. I hope that was nothing untoward. I think it's fine. I'm sure
Everything's fine.
And Casey has got a piece of paper in front of her, and we'll let Patrick bring Casey back up again. Ty, good to see you.
Ty.
Good to see you.
Hello.
And do you have some pieces of paper with secret messages on them?
Oh.
Oh. So let's go over to Casey here.
Alrighty, so before Cecilia snuck back over, she told me that she wrote a secret note for me to find on this paper. I'm going to see if I can rub it into view here with my hand. This is what the paper looks like now. If I rub my hand on it, let's see. Blood.
Is your hand okay?
I think it's okay. This is what it really is. I don't know if you can see the message, but
Awesome.
Spooky.
Awesome. Now, how did you do that? How did you do that? This just uses, that's like Windex. What? Windex is supposed to make things clean. It's not supposed to make spooky messages appear.
So what's happening is we have this paper that's called goldenrod paper, and it has some pigments in it that react with Windex, which is a basic solution. So I can show you again. All Cecilia did earlier was write on the paper with a golden colored crayon. And so the wax just doesn't allow for the Windex to soak that piece of the paper, making secret spooky messages in blood.
Awesome. And I think if you have another piece, let's just do a kind of a bloody handprint, because I think this is an awesome illusion. Oh yeah, so a piece of goldenrod paper. Casey's got the Windexed hand, puts it on there. The basic solution kind of turns into dripping red blood hand. Awesome, and that is some spooky science right there. But you know what's awesome about this paper? Let's leave these out on the table, if you guys are up for it. So I'm going to say leave them out, because the thing in the Windex that's making those color appear, the thing that's basic is ammonia, but ammonia is also volatile. So over the course of our time here, that ammonia is basically going to outgas, and it's going to go into the air. And then I think our messages will disappear. We can do this repeatedly, which is super, super awesome. Now, Cecilia has a little secret message thing going on here that uses some filters. And I want you to show us what you got going on over there.
Of course. So, I made some at-home color filters out of food dye and water. And I put them in little containers. And then what I did was I wrote a bunch of messages on a piece of paper. Now, I can't read anything that is written on this paper right now. What happens when we let's put the blue filter in front of this paper. Ready? Words are gonna start appearing. So we have a couple things like glasses, fish, coffee, happy, shoe, hip.
I'm not sure what that says.
Yeah, that one, the colors did not mix well. But we have cola, base, shop, apple, space, and boo.
Awesome, awesome.
So those words appeared, but there's other writing there. So let's see what happens when we put the red filter in front of it. Then we get entirely different words. Hold on. There we go. So we have chips, cup, heels, shop. That says hop, blue. And then over here we got cola, ball, physics.
Physics, awesome,
That's
awesome.
right. And if you remember, there was this little shop in front of it, so we had a little play on words, and we did little shop of physics.
Awesome.
Little shop.
So let's take a look at just one word and do that again. So if we look at like pick a pair of words that we can see.
Let's do Coca-Cola. How about that?
Okay, so go ahead and pull it up, and let's just see it without any filter.
So without any filter.
So then we have two things written on top of each other. One of them is written in blue highlighter. One of them is written in pink highlighter. And then if we bring in the red filter, oh my gosh,
Sorry?
we can't, the pink disappears, but the blue looks black.
So what happens is when you have a color of a filter and a color of a marker, if the color is the same, it's going to cancel itself out. So that way, the color that's different, in this case the blue, is going to show up and it's going to appear different. That's why it looks black in this case, and why when we put the blue in front of it, the blue disappears and the pink is what changes colors.
Awesome. And let's do one more word, and I think something which is a little like one of the ones from that left column, which the words are more different, let's say.
Happy.
Happy.
Alrighty.
So let's see it without any filter.
Sorry.
So happy.
Happy.
Okay.
There we go.
Right there, happy. And now with the blue filter.
Blue. Sorry. There we go.
There we go.
Happy. And
And
with the red filter, it says
heals. Being happy heals you.
Awesome. That's an awesome thing. That is very, very cool. And this is something kids can try. This is just red and blue food coloring. And pink and blue highlighters is what we did. So this is something absolutely you can try at home. And of course, that's our main thing is we want folks to try stuff at home. So those are some secret messages, but we're going to show you some other secret messages. But before we do that, we have to move beyond the end of the rainbow. Now, you know the rainbow colors. There's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet, but you can go beyond the violet and you can also go beyond the red. And today, we're going beyond the red to the infrared. So we've got a little camcorder that we use to record in the studio. And this one's got a night mode associated with it. So we're going to take this camera and bring it up. And there we go. And now this is in night mode. But if Patrick takes a filter and puts it in front of the lens, that gets rid of all the visible light. It's a little infrared filter. And now we're seeing the world as it is in the infrared. And check out my T-shirt and Cecilia's T-shirt. Our bright tie-dye is gone. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. And my hair looks white in the infrared. Oh, my hair is white all the time. So that's not so helpful. But another thing to notice, Ty and I are going to come close to each other. Here we go. Check it out. In the infrared, we're kind of the same. Which is sort of awesome. And our shirts are the same. We lose a lot of the colors in the infrared. And now you have a device on you right now which uses infrared. And Casey is going to show us how this works.
I do. So the device he's talking about is, of course, your smartphone. So your smartphone. So whenever you first are opening your phone, some of the newer ones have facial recognition to unlock it instead of having to use a password. So if I hold it in front of myself,
I'll tell you.
Right now it doesn't look like anything's happening.
But now let's switch that camera into night mode.
There
oh
we
my
go.
gosh. And now put the infrared filter in case. Let's do the facial recognition.
Oh, you see that flash happening?
Oh, and
see if it'll work again.
Oh my gosh, that was a flash.
There's a flash, but when you look at it, it doesn't.
Oh my gosh, it's flashing now.
There it goes. It's trying to scan to find your face.
But it's scanning with infrared.
Exactly.
So your phone is doing this like ghostly light that you can't see all the time.
Always watching.
It's always watching. Which is spooky indeed. And when you take a picture, it does something awesome too, doesn't it?
Same thing. Gonna try and focus.
Oh, notice your screen. I can't see your screen in the infrared.
Oh, no.
Which is kind of awesome.
But there. Oop.
So let's go ahead and take a picture and let's see what we're getting.
Do you see that
I'm seeing a little
flashing
light
at the top?
And before you had a light where it was like doing a little pixelated set of lights. Let's do that.
If I do it on myself, it should, I think, do the pixelation. No?
Let's turn off the room lights and see if that helps.
Okay.
There we go. We still got the infrared. Casey's taking a picture.
Oh, maybe if I try to take a picture of
Cecilia.
Cecilia. Let's see if this.
Because I think it uses infrared to focus too.
Yeah. Huh.
Should.
Giving me trouble this time.
It's all right.
Always something.
All right. Well, we'll let that go. Like we can bring the room lights back up again so we can see.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask Ty. We're going to go back to just. We'll stay in the camera with just regular visible light. And then Ty has got a piece of fabric here. It's nice, stripy, awesome fabric. She's going to hold up. And Ty has got this piece of fabric. And it turns out, in the infrared, this fabric is a very special color indeed. So let's switch to night mode. And now we're going to put the infrared filter on the front. And then what we get is, oh my gosh, there's a secret message underneath the fabric. And it turns out this fabric is a very special color in the infrared. The color it is transparent. It's
Careful
clear.
what clothes you wear.
So if you're in the little shop of physics and the infrared camera is going and you're wearing something made out of that, it's going to be an embarrassing time for everybody. Now, there's other things that are transparent in the infrared, and this is something which is like one of my favorite things of all. And we're going to go back over to Casey and Cecilia. And let's go ahead and put our camera on the night mode. And poor Patrick, we are working Patrick here. He is switching camera to camera and filter to filter. So
He's a pro.
he's a pro. He is. So over there, we've got Casey,
Yeah.
who is going to have, we're going to put her on night mode. And then we're going to switch to,
There's your
so we're going to switch that, take that camera, switch it to night mode.
There we go.
And then let's switch it to infrared. Let's get that filter in front of it.
Do you have your filter?
And then we're going to look
Beautiful.
and see Casey's arm. And I see some dark
Can you see my veins?
lines there. And actually, that is not your veins so much as it is. And Casey, you're going to get better
My
veins
blood.
if you stand up and put your arm down. Let's get a little bit more
Let's get
pressure going there.
jumping.
But I want your arm below your heart. So we'll get a little bit more pressure and a little bit more puffy veins there. So look at Casey in the
Right.
infrared. And let's
So
take a look at
now-
the arm, and let's see if we can change our contrast a little bit and see some. I want to see some dark lines. And Casey, go ahead and just let the blood flow for right now.
Okay. There she is.
There it is. There it is. And those
yeah.
dark lines
That's my
are not
blood.
your veins. It's actually blood inside the veins.
Ooh.
And Casey, you can prove that by pushing the blood out of the way. Blood goes away and comes back.
Ew.
And let's do that one more time. Go ahead and push the blood out. And it comes back one more time just because that is so super awesome. Oh, yeah. And so we're
Gross.
seeing through your skin to your blood, which is awesome, awesome, awesome. Casey, thank you. That's probably, we're going to let you stop torturing yourself, I think. So
No blood left.
And you can actually use, let's keep the camera on the night mode. And I think we're going to switch over to Cecilia, who's going to do a little x-ray of her hand. So we have this light, and it's a red light, which gives off a lot of infrared.
Oh, it's kind of hot. All right. So
And look at, oh my gosh, look at those veins through the hand.
now that's spooky.
That is spooky. And it turns out in the infrared, we're all the same color, and the color we are is transparent, which is awesome. The infrared light is going right through Casey, and we're doing something which is basically an X-ray, but we're doing it with infrared. Oh my gosh. That is, oh my gosh,
Who
your
needs
knuckles.
a doctor for x-rays?
Seriously. You didn't X-ray
Oh,
come
that's
to-
a good one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. And if you have a camera that has a night mode on it, it'll sense infrared. And all you need is a special infrared filter, and you can make it by stacking up red and blue filters, or you can talk to us in Little Shop of Physics, and we will set you up with a filter. We'll be if you contact us, we'll be happy to give you one you can use with your own camera, which is an awesome, awesome thing.
Of them, so.
We do. And of course, if you don't want to go all the way with the infrared camera, you can do something like this yourself. It turns out a normal incandescent light bulb gives off a fair amount of infrared, as well as a fair amount of red, and that light will actually go through you. And kids have done this before. If I take this flashlight and put it up my nose, I get the little glowing red there, and what's coming through is a lot of infrared. So there's
You weren't kidding when you said spooky, were you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. There it is. Oh, yeah. There's Brian's face in the infrared with the infrared x-ray of my nostril. Awesome.
Yum.
Now we have another way. We'll do one more infrared thing, then we're switching to the thermal camera. And Casey's got some secret message things going on over here.
I do. So regular camera first, so I can show you? Or
Yeah,
you
let's do
wanna
regular
see?
camera
Okay.
first.
All right, so I got a couple of little secret messages here. This one doesn't look quite like a message yet, but I'll show you. This one, I just used some regular markers and wrote out this nice message for you guys. Watch Little Shop on Fridays. Episodes out every 3 weeks. You never know what you're in for. It's been said we can turn bears into ghosts. But if we put on our sneaky infrared light with our filter, we can see. Watch out for ghosts!
Well played. Well played. Some of the colors show up in the infrared and some of them don't.
Yeah, and same deal. You saw my gingerbread man earlier. This is what he looks like, but with the filter,
Oh my gosh,
Who
there's.
knew gingerbread man had bones?
I got to be careful when you eat one of those. I got to tell you.
It's almost Christmas, guys.
Not even Halloween.
So there's our infrared X-ray again of a little gingerbread figure, and then one more infrared thing. And I'm sorry, Patrick, I said that was the last one. We got one more over here. Ty has got Barrington, who's like a little mascot here, who shows up in every episode. And so here's Barrington waving at the camera. Go for it there, Barrington. Yeah, yeah. And Barrington says no on it. Well, that's sad. Barrington's not that. Someone gave that to me because I have trouble saying no. But Barrington's not someone to just come out and just say no to any request. If we look at Barrington in night mode and in the infrared, let's put that infrared filter in front of there. That no turned into a yes. Barrington's saying yes.
Up for anything.
Barrington's up for anything. He's going to get another badge. Oh, there he is nodding his head. Barrington says, yeah, bring it. I'm in. I am in. And now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to move beyond the visible light spectrum. We're going to go into look at thermal images. Right now, you and everything in the room with you is giving off a powerful amount of thermal radiation. And we're going to make it so you can see it because we've got a special camera that shows the world in this thermal radiation right here. So I've got my camera, and then our first up is going to be Ty, and Ty has got a nice piece of black cardboard over here. So Patrick's going to show that with a visible light camera for starters. There it is. And then I'm going to show it with a thermal camera. Here it is with the thermal camera, and you can see Ty's hands on the edge. And now we're going to switch back to the visible light camera. And Ty, give us a nice handprint on that piece of black foam core. So what Ty's doing is warming up that piece of black foam core. Ty takes her hand away, and here's how it looks in the thermal. Oh my goodness, there's a glowing handprint left behind, a little ghost print, as it were, which is kind of awesome. And that looks super, super spooky. We played hide and seek with these a number of years ago, and you can tell not only where someone is, you can tell where they've been, which is super awesome. Now I'm going to swing the camera back across the other side of the room here. We've got Casey and Cecilia over there glowing brightly in the thermal radiation part of the spectrum, which is awesome. But now Cecilia's got a balloon, and let's take a look at that in the visible light spectrum. And that's just a kind of a nice pink balloon there. Go ahead and put it in front of your face. And you can't see through it, but with the thermal camera, it's a different story. Ooh. Oh my gosh, you can see right through it. Oh my goodness.
You can see her mask.
I look a little bit like an alien, but
It's your Halloween costume.
yeah,
that's your Halloween costume right there. Right there. Thermal alien. This is a good one. And now Casey has got another thing. We're going to go back to our visible light. Casey's got a piece of glass, and if we take that piece of glass and put it in front of Casey's face, we can still see Casey. But in the thermal part of the spectrum, it's a different story altogether. You can't see through it. As a matter of fact, if you tip it, you can see a reflection of me. Hey,
Wow.
There's Brian, reflected. My thermal radiation is reflected. Glass does not transmit the thermal radiation. It reflects it rather handily. And I'm just going to show, this is Patrick over here. And Patrick is warm because he is working. He's like the hardest working man in the room, which is fantastic. And all of our glowing electronics, which is an awesome, awesome thing. And Casey, I want to ask you to do one more thing. I want to point this camera right at you and take the glass down. And I'm going to look at your mask and then do a deep breath in and then out.
Wow.
In and out. And when you breathe out, the condensation warms up the mask. When you breathe in, there's some evaporation that cools it, which is truly awesome, awesome thing. And then one last view of Ty over here. Another thing that is transparent on Ty is the glasses. Look at those shades. Look at those thermal sunglasses right there. Looking sharp.
Thank you.
Looking sharp in the thermal radiation part of the spectrum. In Poudre School District classrooms, we gave out a bunch of thermal cameras to teachers last night. And so 5th grade classes should have thermal cameras. You can do some of this stuff on your own. Now we're going to look at another kind of gas. I'm going to take this container and I'm going to fill it up with some really, really cold gas. And one of the things that's true about certain gases is that certain gases are actually opaque to thermal radiation. Now I'm going to switch back to the thermal camera, and Ty is going to pour that gas. We can't see it, but when I switch back to the thermal camera, go ahead and pour it in front of your body. Look at that stream of pouring gas out of there. That is a very powerful greenhouse gas streaming out of that container. That is an awesome, awesome thing. And what you're seeing is those gases, and those gases are really, really good at emitting and absorbing the thermal radiation. And another thing that works, let's switch back to the visible light camera. And we're going to go ahead and pop the lid on this little fancy heat container here. We pop the lid on this, and we light it. There's definitely flame there, but it turns out the flame is a little tricky to see in visible light. Like, it's a very, very subtle flame. On the other hand, if I look at it with the thermal camera,
Whoa.
Wow.
whoa. And what you're seeing is the water vapor and the carbon dioxide that is produced by combustion. So visible light, thermal radiation, and we call this ghost fire. Because here it is in the thermal.
That is crazy.
Here it is in the
That's super
visible.
cool.
Yeah, you can hardly tell they're going. As a matter of fact, it's hard to find these because they're not safe, because, like, you can't see it. But if we all had vision like rattlesnakes who can see thermal radiation, we would be totally good to go. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I think what I want to do now is show you a couple of things that you can try with parts you likely have around the house. And let's go ahead and put a lid on that first, because otherwise the ghost fire is going to reach out and bite us. Thank you, Ty.
no.
Ty has got a touch lamp over there. Let's go ahead and bring that around where we can see it.
Oh, there it goes.
Awesome, awesome. And if you touch the touch lamp, awesome. And you can make it get brighter and dimmer, which is super cool. Here's the thing, there's a little signal on the lamp, and if you put your finger just close to it, you can actually feel, there's a little, almost kind of like a vibration, just a very light
goodness.
touch, and you'll feel a little bit of a vibration. There's a little electrical signal, but the electrical signal doesn't stop in the electrical signal doesn't stop at the edge of the lamp. If you grab a hold of that lamp with both hands, you go and connect yourself nicely to it. Turns out Ty becomes... Oh, hang on a second. Hold it up off the table and hold it tight. There you go. Ty becomes the touch lamp. And so you can do this. We've done a chain of people that goes all the way across the room. And now Ty becomes the touch lamp. That little electrical signal becomes part of her, which is kind of awesome. And then over to Cecilia, and Cecilia's got a plasma ball, and the plasma ball is super awesome because it's got a little glowing plasma inside it, but the electricity that lights up the plasma ball doesn't stop at the end of the ball.
So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a light bulb and I'm going to touch up here.
Wow.
When the light bulb lights, which is kind of awesome,
And I'm going to lay it down and it lights up even
lights up
better.
too.
So the reason why this happens is because, like he said, the electricity is going to travel. And it travels through the wires that's inside the light bulb. And here we have a smiley face light bulb, and he's all lit up. And again, same thing. It travels through the plasma ball, through into the light bulb.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then one other thing that folks can try at home, Cecilia has written a message here, but she wrote that message with...
It's Ty.
Sorry, I tell you, last year I wanted to call everybody Maud, I think.
You did.
Yeah, so this year I want to call everyone Cecilia, and I apologize. You're in the middle.
Okay.
So Ty has a secret message that she's written with special pens, and these special pens are with thermochromic ink. All right.
Thermochromic ink.
Thermochromic ink, it changes color with temperature. So she's written a nice message, and now here's a little thing for you to use. And it says, Cecilia and Casey are definitely not tosps.
Tosps.
Yes. And you're definitely not tosps.
You're not.
You're not.
I'll take it.
Oh, wait a minute. Hang on a second. No, you are tosps. You are tosps.
tosps.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, you are. What's a tosp? A tosp is someone who doesn't know what a tosp is.
Okay.
So now you're not.
No, you're not. But you were for a second there. And this special ink if I take a little, I'm going to look at my artistry right there. I got a little smiley face going on there. If I take that smiley face, you can see this ink. And what's the ink is going to change color when I get it warm. And the color that it changes into is basically transparent. So here I go. I put some heat on there, and my image disappears. And these are these friction pens. We get these at the CSU bookstore. There's nothing special about those. And we should get a product placement for this. And this will disappear, but it's
Sponsor
still
us.
there. And it's still there. We can actually bring it back again. If I take that image and I get it super cold, the image was gone. It was transparent, but it was not gone, and I can make the little smiley face reappear, just like the Little Shop of Physics team reappears every 3 weeks with another episode of LSOP Live. Thank you folks so much for joining us. A special shout out to the classes. Thank you so much. Keep in touch with us, and we'll see you again in 3 weeks. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.